Hello everyone, my name is Vipin Abram and in today's video we'll be talking about dielectrics and polarization. So let's get started. So let's start with what dielectrics are. Right now, in the previous video we talked about conductors. Now conductors are those substances which conduct, right? Now what are dielectrics? Dielectrics are non-conducting substances. Now these substances do not conduct, right? Now in the case of conductor, we know that conductors have mobile charge carriers, right? Because they conduct, right? Now very similarly, dielectrics, as they do not conduct, so they have negligible charge carriers. I hope you guys can understand that. Yes, great. So here you guys can see, let's say I have a conductor and let's say I have a dielectric, right? Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to provide both your conductor and dielectric with an external electric field, right? So let me just provide it with external electric field. So there it is, my external electric field. Here external, electric field, EXT. Alright, very similarly I will give external electric field to my dielectric also. I will try to find out what actually we observe, right? So I have given external electric field to my conductor as well as my dielectric, right? Now we know conductors have free charge carriers, so they have negative and positive charges. So the negative charges will going to experience a force in the presence of this external electric field, and they will experience a force in the direction opposite to that of field, and they will accumulate at the left side of your conductor, right? On the other hand, the positive charge will experience a force in the direction of your electric field, and they will go and accumulate at the right side of your conductor. Is that a yes or no? Now because of these charge densities that has been created, because of that, what is going to happen? There will be an induced electric field inside your conductor, right? This will be induced, EIND. There will be an induced electric field which will be inside your conductor, right? And at the static situation, what is going to happen? Your E external becomes equal to your E induced, right? I hope you guys can understand. So when that happens, inside of your conductor will have zero electric field. I hope that's understand, right? So that is something which we have studied in the previous class, right? Okay, great. Now let's talk about dielectric. Now what we observe in dielectric is we observe a very similar behavior in dielectrics also, right? So on the left side of the dielectric we see a negative charge density, and on the right side of the dielectric you see a positive charge density. Now the density has been created, because of that there will be an induced electric field inside, right? So there will be an induced electric field inside, which again I call it E induced, right? Now only difference here is that your external electric field is not equal to your E induced electric field. That is the only difference here, right? The external electric field will be always greater than your induced electric field, making that inside your dielectric there will be some kind of electric field. Not in the case of conductors, where inside your conductor electric field become zero. So this was very surprising. So dielectrics are non-conducting in nature, they do not have these free charge carriers. Then how come they are behaving similar as that of your conductor? So that was the question that has been asked, right? Now in order to answer this question, we need to go to the molecular level of this dielectric. Now what is happening at the molecular level, which is making it to have this negative charge density on the left side and the positive charge density on the right hand side, right? So let's go to and study the molecular. So what is happening at the molecular level in your dielectric? So you can see here, so molecules of a substance, or I can say molecules of your dielectrics, can be classified into two types of molecules. One is your polar molecule, another one is your non-polar molecule. Now what are your polar molecule? Let me just read it out. They are those molecules whose centers of positive and negative have some separation between them. Now centers of positive and centers of negative. Now what do we mean by centers of positive and centers of negative? Now let me make you guys understand with an analogy so that you guys can understand it much better. So obviously we have learned about center of gravity, right? Now center of gravity, for example, if I have any object, right, the mass is distributed on that object, right? So when I say center of gravity, that means it is one place, or center of gravity is that one place at the center, right? At the center where your mass can be balanced. Is that a yes or no, right? So obviously the mass is distributed everywhere, but center of gravity is the place where I can balance all of my masses. Is that a yes or no? Very similarly, when I talk about a molecule, right? So molecule have this positively charged, nucleus, and electrons are negatively charged, which are like revolving around your nucleus. Is that a yes or no? Right? So when I say center of positive, that means it is a point where all of your positive charge can be balanced. I hope you guys can understand that. Yes. When I say center of negative or center of negativity, so that is a place where all of your negative charge, hence the electronic charge, can be balanced, right? Now when I talk about a polar molecule, it is so that the center of positive and negative have some separation between them. So center of positive and center of negative, they have some kind of separation between them, and you guys can see this is this look familiar? It looks like a dipole here, positive and negative charge separated by some distance, right? So because of that, you can say there is some kind of dipole kind of creation is happening for your polar molecules, right? I hope you guys can understand that. On the other hand, when we talk about non-polar molecules, they are those molecules whose centers of positive and negative coincide at the same place, right? So when I talk about non-polar molecules, the centers of positive and centers of negative, they kind of coincide. When I say coincide, I did not mean like they are going to be at the same place. It actually means the separation between them is so negligible that it is kind of zero, right? So you will see that the centers of positive and negative, they coincide at the same place. That's how we define it. So if they coincide at the same place, then there is no separation between them and it will not feel like a dipole. I hope you guys can understand that. Yes, great. Now let's move forward with this. So for a polar molecule, they have a permanent dipole moment. Yes, obviously there is this positive charge, there is this negative charge, they are separated by some distance d. Then obviously dipole moment is defined as magnitude of one of the charge multiplied by the displacement vector, right? So obviously I can clearly see there will be a dipole moment from your negative charge to your positive charge. I hope you guys can understand, right? On the other hand, they do not have any dipole moment. Yes, because there is no separation between them. D will become zero. There is no separation. When there is no separation, there is no dipole moment, right? I hope you guys can understand that. Yes, great. So let's talk about the next point. When an external electric field is applied, then the dipoles align themselves in the direction of the field, making the dipole moment along the field. Okay, now what happens here is, now let's say I am actually applying some external electric field. So when I apply some external electric field to it, what is going to happen? There is this negative charge. This negative charge will experience a force in the direction opposite to that field, and this positive charge will experience a force in the direction, in the direction towards the field. Is that a yes or no? I hope you guys can understand. So because of that, what is going to happen? It will rotate my dipole and it will make it align in the, it will something like this happen. Your negative charge will come here, positive charge will come here, and this is your dipole, and because of that, what is going to happen? You will have a dipole moment in the direction of your external electric field. I hope you guys can understand that. Is that a yes or no? So basically, when an external electric field is applied for your polar molecules, it aligns the dipole and the dipole moment of that particular dipole in the direction of your electric field. I hope you guys can understand that. Yes, great. Okay, now what happens with your non-polar molecules? When external electric field is applied, then they acquire a dipole moment. Now this is something which you have to understand, right? Okay, now you guys can see this is my diagram, right? So what I'm going to do, I'll just draw it and make you guys understand. So basically I applied some external electric field, right? Now what is going to happen? The negative charge is going to experience a force in the direction opposite to that field, and the positive charge is going to experience a force in the direction of the field, right? So because of that, what is going to happen? They will like there is some kind of repulsion towards each other. Is that a yes or no? Right? So what is going to happen? Because of that repulsion, the positive charge will go in the direction of your field, and the negative charge will go in the direction opposite to that field, and there will be this kind of formation, right? So there will be some separation between each other, right? So there is some kind of separation that is developed because of your external electric field, right? Now when that happens, it becomes a it becomes a dipole moment, or I can say it can now have a dipole moment in the direction of your electric field, right? So that's what this point is saying. When extra electric field is applied, then they acquire a dipole moment. Yes, they have acquired a dipole moment, right? That is understandable. Yes, great. Now let's talk about some examples here. Examples of your polar molecules are HCl and H2O. Water is one of the good example of your polar molecule. Example of your non-polar molecule is your oxygen and H2. Is that understandable? Yes, great. Okay, so let's try to do this exercise. So I have this, I have this material, this dielectric. It's actually made up of, you guys can see, these are made up of non-polar molecules. Can you guys see that? Yes. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply some external electric field. I have applied some external electric field, right? So the moment I apply external electric field, what is going to happen? The negative charges here, all these negative charges, right, they're going to experience a force in the direction opposite to that of field. And all the positive charges here, down one, right, they will experience a force in the direction of the field. Yes or no? Right? So because of that, what is going to happen? Let me just very quickly make it, right? So all the positive will come, go in the direction of the field, right? And all the negative will be opposite to that of your field, right? And you guys see a dipole moment has been gained by your non-polar molecules, right? Non-polar molecules have now gained some dipole moment. You guys can see there is a dipole moment here, right? There's a dipole moment here, dipole moment here. Here is also there's a dipole moment, and here is also a dipole moment. So you guys can see a net dipole moment is gained by your non-polar molecules, right? Or non-polar, I can say the material which is made up of your non-polar molecules, right? So a net dipole moment is in that direction, that is in the same direction of that of your external electric field, right? Is that a yes or no? And that is what it is written here. In the presence of external electric field, the positive and negative charges of your non-polar molecules are displaced in opposite direction, right? One important thing you have to understand here is that obviously they will not break apart. They will not break apart. Why? Because there are intermolecular forces between each other, right? These forces are strong, right? You cannot just break it, right? These are strong forces, and because of those forces, there will be some separation, but not far, right? Not far. It will still hold your molecule together, right? I hope you guys can understand, right? Okay. Yes, same thing, displacement storm because of the intermolecular forces, that as I said. Okay, great. The non-polar molecules thus develop an induced dipole moment, right? Now the dipole moment that it develops here, this is what we call as our induced dipole moment, right? I hope you guys can understand that. Is that a yes or no? Okay, so that is something which we call as our induced dipole moment, right? So, and we say that the material which was made up of your non-polar molecule is now polarized with the help of external electric field, right? So this is what we call as your polarization. Now this material which was made up of your non-polar molecules, right, with the help of our external field, what happened? It has gained a permanent, not permanent, but a induced dipole moment in the direction of your external electric field. Is that a yes or no? So when this happened, we say the material which was made up of your non-polar molecules is now polarized with the help of your external electric field. Is that a yes or no? Right? So when I say polarized, that means it has gained a dipole moment. It has gained a dipole moment in the direction of your electric field. Is that a yes or no? I hope that is understandable. Yes? Great. So now your material is polarized with the help of your external electric field, right? Okay, now let's do the same exercise for your polar molecules. Now, I have a polar molecule here. You guys can see this, material is made up of your polar molecules. Now you have to understand here, you guys can see the polar molecules, the molecules already have some dipole moment, right? The molecules already have some dipole moment, right? Obviously this has a dipole moment in that direction, this has a dipole moment in that direction, this has a dipole moment in this direction, this has a dipole moment in that direction, this has a dipole moment in that direction, and this has a dipole moment in that direction, this has a dipole moment in that direction, and this has in this direction. So all the dipole moments are randomly arranged. You have to understand they are so randomly arranged that if I talk about the net dipole moment of the material, then it comes out to be 0. If I talk about the net dipole moment of the material, then it comes out to be 0. Why it comes out to be 0? Obviously, if there is one dipole in that direction, there will be one dipole moment in this direction. If there is one dipole moment in that direction, there will be one dipole moment in that direction. Because of that, all these combined effect, if I add all the effects of dipole moment, it will cancel each other out, right? Making the net dipole moment of your material to be 0. Is that a yes or no? I hope you guys can understand that. Yes? Great. Now, I'm going to apply an external electric field here, right? The moment I apply external electric field, what is going to happen? You guys can see the moment I apply external electric field, what is going to happen? All your dipoles are going to align in the direction of your electric field, right? I hope you guys can understand that, right? Negative here, negative here, negative here, negative here, negative here, right? And there is positive, positive. So all your dipoles have been arranged, have been aligned in the direction of that of your dipole, of that of your electric field, right? So now they have this dipole moment here. You guys can see here, right? You guys can see, yes, they have this dipole moment here, here. Now all the dipole moments are in the direction of your external electric field. Can you guys see that? I hope you guys can see that. Is that a yes or no? Yes? Great. So you have a net dipole moment in the direction of your electric field, right? Now again, this is what you call as polarization in the cases of your polar molecule. Now what happens here? This material was made up of your polar molecules, right? Now this material had a net dipole moment to be equal to 0. Now what happened? With the help of this external electric field, what actually happened? All of your dipoles, all of your molecules, the dipoles are aligned in the direction of your electric field. Is that a yes or no? Is that a yes or no? Great. So because of that, now they have gained a net dipole moment in the direction of your electric field, right? Because of that, what is going to happen? This material, which was made up of your polar molecules, is now polarized with the help of external electric field. I hope you guys can understand that. Is that a yes or no? Great. So you guys can see in the external field, the dipoles in the polar molecules will try to align themselves in the direction of your electric field. Hence, in the process, they will have a net dipole moment in the direction of electric field. Yes, and we can say that the material which is made up of polar molecules is now polarized with the help of external electric field. I hope you guys can understand that. Is that a yes or no? Is that a yes or no? Great, great. Now, I'm going to define a new term here. This term is what you call as an electric polarization. It is represented by capital P. We call it electric polarization. Now, how it is defined? It is defined as the total dipole moment per unit volume, right? It actually is the measure of how much your material has been polarized, right? So, for example, here, if I take a small area here, right? So this has some volume V, right? So if I ask you what is the electric polarization here, you can simply say electric polarization P is given as how much dipole, the net dipole moment for that particular volume divided by the particular volume, that is P upon V, right? And obviously this is a vector quantity and this is given as total dipole moment per unit volume. In which unit volume we are talking about, that is your electric polarization. So that is how you define your electric polarization. I hope that is understandable. Yes, it's a vector quantity because your P is a vector. Volume is not vector quantity, but as your dipole moment is a vector quantity, and hence it becomes your capital P, that is your electric polarization, automatically becomes your vector quantity, right? Is that a yes or no? Great. Now let's try to, now we know about the molecular level. Now let's try to understand what happened here. What happened with your dielectric? Because now you understand the molecular fact of your dielectrics. Now let's try to understand what actually happened there, right? Okay, great. So here, let's say here I have a dielectric material. Now let's say this material is made up of, it doesn't matter whether it is made up of your polar molecules or your non-polar molecules. Let's say I have a dielectric, right? Now the moment I apply some external electric field, right, all of the dipoles are aligned, right? Now you guys can see they all have a dipole moment in the direction of that of your external electric field. Is that a yes or no? You guys can see that all of your dipoles are now aligned in the direction of, so I have made few dipoles here. Obviously there are lots and lots of dipoles in your material. I hope you guys can see. So this is just for your understanding purpose, right? Okay, so after external electric field, now they are aligned, they have a net dipole moment in the direction of your external electric field. Great. Now you have to understand this positive charge, the first positive charge is closer to your negative charge. It's very close to your negative charge. So this positive negative can cancel each other's effect. Is that a yes or no? This positive charge can cancel the effect of this negative charge. Very similar, this positive charge can cancel the effect of a negative charge. Similarly, this positive charge can cancel the effect of this negative charge, right? So you guys can see this full, this full positive negative effect have cancelled each other out. The only thing that is left is your negative. Furthermost, on the left hand side, this negative charge is left, and on the right hand side this positive charge is left. Can you guys see? And if I do it for this entire material, you guys can see this entire material, this whole part will cancel each other out. This whole part, positive negative effect will cancel each other out. I hope you guys can see. Yes or no? You guys can see. Yes. Is that a yes or no? Right? The only thing that is left here is this negative charge density towards your left and the positive charge density towards my right. I hope you guys can understand it. Yes or no? Yes? Great. Okay, so here you can read it. Positive charge of the first dipole is cancelled with the by negative charge of the next dipole, and so on. Thus we will have negative charge on the left side of dielectric and positive charge on the right side of your dielectric. Like I was explaining, you will see something like of this, right? All the middle part is being cancelled out, right? I hope you guys can understand. Is that a yes or no? So I have this negative charge density towards my left, I have this positive charge density towards my right? So these negative charge densities is what you call as my bound charges. These are your bound charges, right? This is my negative bound charge, and this is my positive bound charge. I hope you guys can understand that, right? But because of these, this positive and negative densities at the corners, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? There will be an induced electric field. I hope you guys can understand. There will be an induced electric field. Is that a yes or no? I call this as E induced, right? There will be an induced electric field inside my dielectric. I hope you guys can understand that. Is that
a yes or no? Great, right? So there is an induced
electric field here, right? So you guys can read it out. Because of these induced bound charges, electric field is induced in the direction opposite to that of your electric field. Yes, I can see it here. It is, Acha. Now tell me, I have this external electric field outside, right? And I have this induced electric field inside. Now, what is the actual electric field inside? Now, this is something which I don't understand here, right? Now, let's say inside I have some E dash electric field, right? And that E dash electric field can be given as E external minus E induced, right? E external minus my E induced, right? So in the cases of dielectric, the induced electric field is never equal to your external electric field, right? So there is always a electric field which I represent by E dash, right? And that is given as external electric field minus my induced electric field. Is that a yes or no? Right? This is how I can find out, right? I hope you guys can understand that. Yes? Great. Now, one important thing that you have to understand here is the inside electric field can also be given as whatever external electric field that you're providing divided by the dielectric constant of that material, right? So if somebody asks you what is the electric field inside, and if you are given the external electric field that you're providing to a dielectric, and also you are given the dielectric constant, then you can simply write it here. E dash is equals to E external upon dielectric constant of that material, right? This is also one of the way to find out, right? I hope that is understandable, right? So now you guys can see what was happening at the first exercise that we did, right? When we were comparing our conductor and our dielectric, right? I hope you guys can understand it, right? Now this was happening there, right? There were no there were no free charges, but they were dipoles, right? So because of that dipoles, what happened, right? The story is in front of you, right? I hope you now understand it. Is that a yes or no? Great, great. Now you have to understand, this is very interesting. Now interesting thing is that your electric polarization, that is your capital P, which was defined as your dipole moment per unit volume, the electric polarization, that means how much your material has been polarized, right, is found to be directly proportional to the net electric field within the dielectric, right? So this capital P is found to be directly proportional to your E dash. E dash is your electric field that is inside your dielectric on that, and that makes sense also, because E dash is simply given as E external minus E induced. Is that a yes or no? E external minus E induced, right? So your P, that is how much the material has been polarized, will indirectly depend upon your external electric field, how much electric field you will apply, right? And depending upon the applied electric field, induced electric field will come. Is that a yes or no, right? So it depends upon your electric field inside your dielectric. I hope you guys can understand, right? And you take out the proportionality sign, you will get a constant of proportionality, that is your chi E in this particular case, and this is called your electric susceptibility. So your P is given as chi E times of E dash, and chi E is what you call as your electric susceptibility. Now this is a term, this is a constant which depends upon medium, right? Sometimes we write your chi E as epsilon naught times your normal chi, right? This is how, this is one of the way of writing it, right? So basically you can see this depends upon the medium at which we are placing it, right? I hope you understood the video today. You understood the concept of dielectrics and polarization, right? I hope you understood what was happening here at the starting of the video. So we talked about the situation. I hope you now understand why your conductors and dielectrics they have similar kind of behavior, because in the conductors you have your free charges, but in dielectrics you have dipoles, right? You have dipoles. You do not have free charges, but you have dipoles, right? And the moment you provide some external electric field, the dipoles will gain, they will acquire a dipole moment in the direction of your external electric field, and then what happens, all the positive negative cancel each other out, and at the end left hand side you will get a negative charge density, and at the right hand side you will get a positive charge density, and because of that there is an induced electric field inside, and then you will get this story, right? I hope you guys understand that. Is that a yes or no? If you have any doubt, you can comment it down in the comment section. I hope you understood. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.